I think inside of every person, there's something in us that says, I want to fix that thing, or I'm not okay with what's happening over there, or what's happening in our schools, or what's happening in our neighborhood, or whatever it is. I think every one of us can identify that there's something that we want to improve, invest in, see transformation in.
Through hard times, like I had to put in that work. And what I learned is people are, religion can scare people, and I get it. Religion is kind of a hot mess. But if you look at the principles of Jesus in general, it is love, it is grace, it is us giving that within ourselves first so that we can heal.
Transform a city, like it's only going to be transformed leaders who lead to that transformation because they understand what had to change in themselves before they expect it of somebody else.
Hey, what's going on, friends? Jason here with Love Local Chicagoland. I'm super excited to have Dave Fickens here from Link Chicago. Link is a nonprofit that is located here in Chicago. They have 10 other places around the country where they help build leaders in our communities and help. To me, it's a very boots on the ground approach to being able to make sure that our communities are a better place. And one of the things that I love about it is they bring faith into the mix. And I think faith is important. So a lot of the principles that they're going to help you instill are going to be in Jesus' name and doing it in a way that is pure, with love, and with, to me, from an experience I've recently had by going to a dinner with them, with a very much a uplifting hand. You see, I think we're kind of trying to do that in our own way here at Love Local. We want to help uplift people. We want to help. We think if we give you good stories of people that have gone through things, that have overcome, that have, rode the waves of life and got on the other side. If we could connect you with, therapists, coaches, people that are doing good things in the community, nonprofit leaders in the community. We think the connectedness here in our community with collaboration can help shape our communities and leave this mark on the world that we're going to leave this place better than we found it, my friends. And that's, I think that's our calling here in this generation, to roll up our sleeves, to help build leaders, and to make this world better than we found it. The conversation today with Dave is going to be fire, so keep watching. I'm done talking. Dave, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Great to be here.
Yeah, let's do this, man. We've known each other now, probably for about a year-ish?
Yeah, coming up on it.
Yeah, so our kids, same school. There's that, right?
Yep.
We're towns next to each other, right? You just recently moved back to the Chicagoland area. Is it Memphis or Nashville?
Yep.
I forgot.
Yeah, I was in Nashville, but grew up in Aurora. And so it's good to be back in this area. And I remember when we first met. We met at like an art and poetry night. And I'm pretty sure you said to me that night, dude, I think we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
It was totally one of those moments.
It sounds about something we do. I want to be honest. I don't remember. Maybe I had a drink. I'm not sure. But I definitely remember connecting with you and knowing, like, hey, there's eventually going to come a time when we sit here at the table and have a good conversation.
Yeah.
And I think, not only obviously we have some Midwestern roots, we have a lot of those commonalities. We have some faith commonalities. We're both Cub fans.
There we go.
Too, which is huge. If you're a Sox fan, there's a chance you're not there, man. I'm just going to be honest. Like, no offense to the Sox fans out there, just joking. But no, it's really the work you're doing with Link Chicago that I admired early on when Link was just being built. I heard about it from Carl Fay, which is a mutual connection of ours, through our church, and our church was an early, adopter, giver towards your mission because we believe in what's being built down there. But then getting to know you, getting to hear about Link from you is great. Getting to go to your website is great. But that dinner, man, the dinner you invited me to, I was like, what can make for a good conversation? And it doesn't have to be just a standard prep call like I did with other people. And you invited me to a dinner, and that dinner, to me, I think in a positive way, I think it was life changing because it gave me a hope to that even in a fallen, crazy world, that when you follow your heart and you listen to what's inside it and you just roll, beautiful things could happen. And I have never been in a space where everybody was coming from that perspective. and it was truly beautiful, man. A lot of givers. So I kind of want to start with you talked about you're from the Midwest. You did that. So tell us a little bit about Link, in general. What's your mission? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, Link is here to make sure that no leader walks alone. So for anybody that's listening to this that, has this I don't know, I think inside of every person, there's something in us that says, I want to fix that thing, or I'm not okay with what's happening over there, or what's happening in our schools, or what's happening in our neighborhood, or whatever it is. I think every one of us can identify that there's something that we want to improve, invest in, see transformation in, right? I think with that, then soon come ideas. How could we change that? How could we invest in that? How could we see transformation in that space? But then too often it stops right there with a good idea. And I think Link is here to help your good idea actually come to life. Whatever that dream God has put on your heart, because you want to make an impact somewhere, you want to see somebody's life improved, you want to see other people not have to walk alone. You have that idea, and we want to help put legs underneath that idea that you have.
Yeah, it's real. At that dinner, I talked with Andre, a nonprofit leader that is building a nonprofit to be able to help people transition from prison life back into society.
Yeah.
And you hear his story and the things that he's gone through it, and how even in dark times, he was able to overcome, finding his faith, and then come out and automatically just want to be able to make a positive impact on society by being able to help uplift his, brothers and sisters who have, gone through the same road he did. And I find that admirable, right? And Steve, too, you talk about Steve. How do you say his last name?
Coble.
Coble. I always want to say cowbell. No offense,
You
Steve.
always want to say cowbell and then play the role with Will Ferrell. Got to have more cowbell, baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going with that.
I don't have a good Christopher Walken impersonation.
But he's a musician, but he's doing really something beautiful with art. Tell a little bit more about it from your perspective.
Yeah, it's really cool. Steve sees this community in Albany Park, which is one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Chicago. And he's asking the question, how do we connect people across cultural boundaries, across language barriers? How do we get people to just do life together so that people aren't isolated? I think we're all seeing that everywhere we go. We might know people, there might be places that we connect, but at the end of the day, we're still feeling too isolated. Where are those meaningful connections? So what Steve has this dream for is to create this cultural center, and they're using this old church school building and creating space in the middle of this neighborhood where anybody can come in and right now work out of his earthen warehouse. An earthen warehouse, they create pottery with their hands. And you want to talk about a place to connect? Just get people sitting around a table doing something with their hands, creating, especially creating. Yeah. You take something dead and lifeless like a block of clay and you start to give shape to it, to make it become something that is beautiful, and share that with somebody else. You now are starting to break down barriers, and people start to come together around that. But that's just the beginning of this Tabor Cultural Center that they're really creating. They want to create space for there to be music shows and rehearsal space and studios and podcast studios and opportunities for winter farmers markets and stuff like that, so that there can be a space where the community knows, hey, you don't have to do this alone.
Yeah, it's so important, and I think you talk a lot about isolation. And throughout this, and I think we've kind of been in isolation a lot since the adaptation of this thing. I think more and more. But then COVID just smacked us in the face, and And there's a lot of us that went into community at that time, and then there's still there's studies out there to show that isolation is a huge problem within our communities. I think about the damage that could do to our communities by us not connecting, and us not being able to really feel what's real within our communities. So to be able to create a space like that, to me, I think is like that's needed in like every community. A place where we could go create, a place we could connect, a place that we could just sit back and relax, and maybe listen to a band, or whatever it could be, or to me, the podcast idea. He was telling me that too. I'm like, oh, it'd be amazing to be able to do something like that, and to be able to give people a voice, I think that's important where we're going, and to be able to understand that like we all have a voice, and to be able to listen to one another's voices are important. I think something that really inspires me from you guys is you said it early on, but like ideas and transformation. And to me, I'm seeing what you're doing. I think of other people that are doing good in their own ways in their community, and it's ideas and transformation for good.
Yeah.
And now we could connect with each other like never before, which is also scary. But we could if we could do that in a collaborative and good way with that goal of like best ideas wins out. Let's look to be able to transform our communities. Game on, man, because there's a lot of builders and community makers that are out there that are just ready to be able to glad to leave this place better than we found it. Why is that to you? Like, why do you think good ideas and transformation is important? But what if you could like paint a picture of what that could look like for people?
Yeah, boy. So why is transformation important? Yeah. I mean, why is transformation important? The old question is like, so how's that going for you? Like, are we really content with what's happening in our world? Are we really content with how we're feeling and how we're living? Are we content with like what our kids have to look forward to? I think when we sit down and wrestle with those realities inside of every one of us is like, well, maybe it's good, but could it be better? Or maybe we're sitting in a place saying like, no, this is not good. We want to see something different. And so why do we aim towards transformation? And for us, city transformation is because we see so many lives, so many people that we all want something deeper. Like, I really think we can test all kinds of different things and say, like, maybe if that deal comes through, I'll have a little more hope. Maybe if I can get to that place in my life, or I can be that much more independent, or I can be that much more sustainable, or whatever it is in our lives, in our marriages, in our businesses, whatever, like then I will have been transformed, or I will have arrived at the place where I want to go. And to be honest, oftentimes those things don't measure up, and there's got to be something that anchors us more. Like a deeper anchor inside of us that no matter what happens, like this is not going to eat away my identity. I'm still going to be anchored in hope. And for a lot of our leaders that we work with, like that's their faith in Jesus. Like you could try everything. You could get promoted 1 million times. You could make the most money or the least amount of money. And yet we come back to that anchor that doesn't change, and that's identity. And I think everybody's looking for that. So why do we look for transformation? Like, I think people are kind of fed up with empty promises. And I think in every single one of us, we want to be anchored so that no matter what happens, good or bad, big or small, like I'm rooted in who I am. And that's not based on what I've accomplished or successes or failures. Golly, you want to talk about failures? Like, I've got plenty of them. Like
we all do. The goal is to keep going, right? Like,
right.
Failure is a part of the ride.
It is,
if you do it right, in my opinion.
Exactly. Yeah. If you do it right, like failure has to be your best teacher, not your definer.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
it is not like that is. But I think in every one of us, usually failure gets to define us for way too long until And I know you've shared this, like, until you do the work, until you understand, like, it doesn't have to define you.
Yeah, I think that's important, and to me, it's a heart thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The transformation piece, and as you're talking about it, I can't go back to like my days before I implemented Jesus into my life, and then like the evolution of it as it's evolved. And it's been a game changer, and it's the story of my life, and it's over decades journey. I was baptized as a Catholic, but we didn't practice it growing up. I wasn't a part of it. I definitely didn't instill the values early in my life. Like I look at our team, like Cole or other members of our team, like you guys are so much more mature than I was, probably still am.
Shout out to Cole.
But it's important, right? But it's we all have our own journeys, and for whatever reasons those are, it's important for us to be able to live those journeys authentically.
Yeah.
And to me, through hard times, like I had to put in that work. And what I learned is people are, religion could scare people, and I get it. Religion is kind of a hot mess. But if you look at the principles of Jesus in general, it is love, it is grace, it is us giving that within ourselves first so that we could heal.
Yeah.
What I found through that journey, and I see that within your people too, is when you let that inner work happen and you're able to, we're all built for a reason. There's a hip hop song that I really like by a guy named Propaganda. It's a song called Dig, but it's in that song it says, we aren't the artists, we're the canvas. The canvas is within the heart. It's so being able to get, in my opinion, to be able to get that work in, to be able to do that transformation in, right, is important as a part of your guys' expertise. And then you help the builders build. And through that, you're seeing them transform our communities. That's pretty darn beautiful, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to transform a city, like it's only going to be transformed leaders who lead to that transformation because they understand what had to change in themselves before they expect it of somebody else. And the cool thing about like our faith that we share is like we say the words, we do the work. When you do the work as a Christian, what you find out along the way is actually it's been God doing the work in you the whole time, and in spite of your inability to do the work. Like you find that grace is far better than just a deeper understanding of yourself.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Amen, dude.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Transformation for good. And if we do that locally, we could change the world one town at a time.
Yeah.
You guys have a T-shirt that I have that you don't have. Na boo boo.
How did that even happen? Like, I work here and I don't have a shirt
I'm
yet.
like throwing the like.
It's coming.
I'm holding up, like hanging it in front of you. That's
You
not
should.
nice. That's not nice at all. But on the back of the shirt, it says "Love where you live."
Yeah.
And I think about helping build leaders, helping bring ideas, and help the leaders transform. And I think about loving where we live. Man, dude, for you, like, why is like loving where you live, like, why is that so important for us as humans?
Oh, huge. Like anybody who wants to talk about transforming anything but doesn't know the name of their neighbor probably doesn't belong in the conversation of transforming a city. It's so important to invest first where you are, and to see what it looks like to love somebody, regardless of who they are, what they believe, where they come from, who they voted for. Like, just love your neighbor and love your family. Like, that right there is already so refreshing to the world that when you start there, it begins to take shape on a larger scale. And I really think this is why a lot of people, when they talk about city transformation or they talk about a big goal or a big vision, like we get swallowed up by it because like, when you look at Chicagoland, right, and certainly Love Local Chicagoland, you guys have to wrestle with this, right? Like, how are we going to like impact all of Chicagoland, we're talking 10 million people, right? Link has that same very similar vision. Like we want everybody in Chicagoland to experience good news from someone they know in a way they can understand, which demands for us that it can't be about us. It can't be about one organization, one leader, one church, one denomination. It can't be about one nonprofit or one business. Like it's literally going to take every single one of us. Why? Because we have a 10 million person problem. And honestly, I don't think it's a 10 million person problem. I think it's a 10 million person opportunity. Mm-hmm. I think there's so much opportunity.
So let's roll up our sleeves.
Exactly. Roll up our sleeves and don't start with everybody. Mm-hmm. Start with one person.
Go talk to that neighbor you don't know.
And just have them over for a barbecue.
It maybe has a different sign in the yard than you.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Totally.
Go find out their name and learn about them.
How are you going to love your neighbor if you don't know their name? Mm-hmm. Like, we were already blessed by our neighbors. We moved in, just bought a house about a month ago. And in the first day, we had our next door neighbors bring us some Oberweis ice cream, which as a kid, that's my favorite ice cream. So to come back and get Oberweis was a huge blessing to our family. And then neighbors 2 doors down brought over some crumble cookies. Like, we're already feeling loved in our neighborhood, as it's our prayer to love our neighborhood well as we get settled in. But it starts there. And same thing with our leaders then too. Yeah. So hey, leaders, we want to love our neighbors well. So start in your neighborhood and view your business, view your nonprofit as an opportunity to impact somebody who lives right there.
Mm-hmm. If we all did that the connection of that,
yes,
and the domino effect of that, is life changing.
Yeah,
there's no way that it's not. It came from corporate America. I didn't know all this boots on the ground stuff was happening until I got into entrepreneurship. Once I joined associations, once I got involved in communities, once I started getting to know nonprofits, getting invited to things and connecting with people, you learn, to me, you learn what's true in a lot of different ways, especially if you're tying in a faith practice within that. And it could really be powerful, but it's going to take all of us if we want to make our communities a stronger place. Like, we can't wait. It's not the politician's job. It's us as the people to be able to support each other, to love each other, to roll up our sleeves, to be able to help each other.
Yep.
I personally feel, I mentioned this when I was at that dinner, I personally see a lot of love in the community, and I feel really fortunate to see a lot of connection and collaboration, whether it's in, Schaumburg Business Association for me, or whether it's with Village Networking for me, which I'm a founder of, or whether it's seeing what you're doing out in the community. Like, we can create change. We can do this, but we have to be able to talk to each other, and we have to get to know each other. And through that, collaboration happens.
That's the thing. And the question is, do I think collaboration is optional? We have to stop considering. Right.
It's needed.
We have to stop making it optional. Yeah. Your win needs to be my win, and that needs to be shared together, and needs to empower and inspire other people to know that their win not just matters for themselves or for their business, their nonprofit, their organization, their way of making impact, but you're actually a part of something bigger. It's going to take every single one of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it can be done if we take that approach, hands down. And I see it right now, but it needs more people to be able to join on this mission, more people to be like, I want to be a leader in the community. I don't know where to start. Well, guess what? There's a solution. It's there, and through that, you chisel into it. I feel like a lot of people sometimes think with that end in mind because they don't know the road, but they don't go. But if it's in your heart, God's not asking you to go all the way. He's asking you to take a step, right, in that direction.
Yep.
It'll guide you the rest of the way.
And that's where Link loves to come alongside of leaders. I love being in that space where people say, man, I got this idea. Or maybe they don't even say they have an idea. They just say, I'd love to see this happen. I'd love to see somebody's life touched in this way. Or I'd love to see that injustice, like, stop. I want to put an end to that. Like, so many of the leaders you've had on this show, they're so great at articulating that. Like, I think there's a wave of people, a whole bunch of people who have this idea, who have a dream on their heart that I think God's put there. But because they don't know how to activate it, they don't do it. And we're looking for those leaders.
It's scary, right?
It is totally scary, but it doesn't have to be.
No.
It's scary if you're isolated.
Totally. But if you're in community, in entrepreneurship, I'll speak to that. It's lonely. Like, thank God, if I'm going to go back to Cole, thank God for that guy. Because without it, like, it's a very lonely road to be able to go down. So to be able, in entrepreneurship, could come from building a business. It could come from building a nonprofit. It could become from being an author, whatever it is, right?
I will put it to the test.
It's so important.
Yes. I will put it to the test. Like, if you're scared or you're intimidated or you're just kind of saying like, oh, I just don't know, like, be surprised and put it to the test how much courage comes from community. Like, you put people around you who like maybe feel the same thing you do. Like, I don't know if I can start this thing. I don't even know if I can test it. But when they get you in the room with them, you're actually going to be their source of courage, just like they're going to be your source of courage.
Yeah, and I'm not in your program, but I felt that from Andre. We got to talk to each other 100%, and he shared something with me that he was super vulnerable, super real, and I got to share something that I haven't shared with anybody other than my wife. That is what I'm feeling, because but that connection, like, we met each other for 2 hours, but we're still texting, we're connected, in a positive way. And to me, when you're connected with people, and you could also come in community and like root each other on. Game on, dude. Game on. And now we have tools like ChatGPT and all these other things, plus good like programs with leadership and all these things. There's nothing we cannot build within our community. So it's more about like, let's fix our hearts. Let's get our hearts in a good spot, and let's build for a better tomorrow in a positive way, right? I'm a hopeful and I'm a dreamer, so there's a lot of that's in there, because it's what you do for people is truly life changing, and my path was different, but it was how you help people. I was helped along the way. God put those people in my life to help uplift me. So I know the power in what you're trying to be able to help uplift for people. I understand the power of it firsthand as I sit here like building a media company and like, what the heck? I can't believe this is happening. But I want to continue with this story. We talked about Steve. We talked about Andre, and those are two great stories. There's a lot of people I don't know. Is there any other stories that you want to share? One or two stories that you think our audience would enjoy?
I mean, absolutely. And we could probably have a 5-hour-long podcast right now. I'm so inspired every time I'm in the room with these leaders, because they are they're pressing into hard places. But to them, it's exactly where they're supposed to be. So I might be intimidated to go into that space, but they're called to it. Like, they know this is, like, they were created to serve in this way. So, like, you take a Mike and Jenny Chang. I'm just so blown away by them.
Were they at the dinner?
They were there at the dinner.
Yes, okay.
They started something called Monster Education Fund. Everybody listening should Google this, because it's awesome. What they do is they've started up this, you might see it as a scholarship program on the surface, but really underneath it is an investment in the lives of 6th through 12th graders as they grow up through middle school into high school, giving them leadership opportunities, training them in networking skills, business skills, all kinds of mentorship. And for each one of those students, starting in 6th grade, every month they have opportunities to show up to things, lead in their community, do service projects, like develop as a human, as a leader, and earn scholarship dollars by doing those things. And at the end of that time, after going from 6th to 12th grade, like, they have a whole lot of scholarship dollars that can send them to school. Well, Monster Education Fund just recently graduated their very first student from college, from Duke University. Mike and Jenny have a heart for the Austin and Inglewood neighborhoods in Chicago. And when they are partnering with schools, they're asking teachers like, hey, who do you have in your classrooms in public schools in Inglewood and Austin that would be a good fit for this program? Who are you seeing leadership skills? In fact, one of their students was just on the news like 3 months ago, and he's there actually with another one of our partners, Link Leaders, who is the keynote speaker and MC at this event for connecting nonprofits with Chicago public schools and stuff. And so he's speaking at it, and he's on the news clip, and we're like, hey, we know that guy. He's part of the Link family. And then they interview this, I think he's 7th grade student, and this guy is just blowing me away, this 7th grader. He's talking about how he wants to become president someday, and he's talking about the change that he wants to see. And I'm like, gosh, what this guy is doing and as a 7th grader is incredible. Well, guess what? He's in the Monster Education Fund process. He's been learning leadership and service and how to invest back in the community through this process.
Oh, how beautiful.
And it's all because Mike and Jenny saw this need, had this dream, and started to put it into practice. And we've been so honored to walk even more closely with them in the last year and a half. They started this 10 plus years ago. And now as they're looking to step into a new season with their board of directors, with their organization, with how much do we scale this, how large do we want it, they asked Link to come alongside of them and help give them greater clarity for this next chapter. So sometimes we find business leaders, nonprofit leaders who are saying like, man, we feel like we're not hitting on all cylinders here. It'd be helpful to go through a process. Well, guess what? Like you can go pay Uber dollars other places to help you walk through a place or through a process that might give you some clarity at the end of it, but then they are gone until you pay them again to show up and consult with you. With Link, we raise most of the money for you to go through our training process. And once you're in it for life. And now you're a part of the network. And now we're going to make sure you never walk alone. As long as you're a part of Link and you stay connected to us, we promise to stay connected with you. We're going to figure that out and make sure that you're not walking alone. Like now, not only do you get to go through a process to get greater clarity, to wrestle with the biggest challenges as a leader of a nonprofit or a business, but you've got a community now and a network that is collaborating towards city transformation.
I hear you talk, and I just think about like how the world can change if you keep going.
Keep going.
Because it's we all have something within our heart. It's usually that work internal to be able to get it to come out. It needs to happen, and sometimes it does hurt in my experience. But it's so much better and joyful when you get to that point and you get to live what your heart is telling you to be able to do. When you wake up in the morning, it's different than going to corporate America.
Yes,
it's so different.
I mean, you said the phrase. Yeah. Keep going.
Yes.
One of our big things, the way we go after is we help leaders start small so that your failures are not fatal. We help you build deep so that you can invest in the people in the community where you are so that you can stay long. We know that the transformation we're praying for and we hope to see is not going to be done with some kind of Band-Aid approach, with somebody who parachutes in and doesn't stay for very long. So the question is, like, for any leader, do you know how to start small? You might have big ideas, but let's test those things in a safe way and get rolling.
Why didn't I meet you guys like 8 years ago?
Jason, we'll talk. We'll
start
talk,
small?
Man. We'll talk.
No way.
Right? You don't want to start small, but it's wise
so
to do it.
Yes,
it's wise
100%.
to do it. How do you build deep? Like, where's that? When stuff gets hard and you have this great idea, everybody draws up a business plan. This is how it's going to go in the first 6 months or 12 months or 5 years or whatever. Like, and then day one starts. Like, okay, this plan needs to be able to adapt. It needs to evolve as we start to deal with the realities of things not going the way that we want it to. Well, we help you build deep so that when those curveballs come, and they're coming, you can respond with an adaptive posture and not a rigid posture. That's so, and that'd be a whole nother podcast. We could talk about that stuff, but also that you can stay long. Like, let's keep investing. let's not push the eject button. Let's keep building the way that we invest in people and earn more trust in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces.
So maybe say you have a framework that helps bring people together in community.
Yeah.
Helps them get to the root of what they're trying to be able to build.
Yeah.
To be able to put a plan into place, and to do that in an authentic way that whether it's that they're content with just a chisel upwards at a time.
Yeah.
Because big dreams are hard to do. They take a lifetime. You've built a community, and you're building a community to help people through all that, but then also like lifelong friendships and a network of people where you can connect with that. Like they understand your struggle, because we, as entrepreneurs, as builders, there's a lot of commonalities within things that are hard and to punch you in the gut, right? It can be different organizations, but still struggles, fiscal, labor, whatever, right?
It's coming.
Yeah. We talked through this a little bit, but at dinner, I saw people full of passion, heart, and faith. How does discipleship show up in the leadership journey at Link?
Oh, man. Like, first of all, like, I'm a big believer that your work, your business, your nonprofit, this dream you want to bring to life, it needs strategy. No doubt about it. You need strategy. You need to put together a plan. You need to have people asking you good questions about it. You need to test some of those things. You need to bring some small things to market if that's what you're going to be doing. You need to pilot some things and do some R&D and all that kind of stuff. You need to be strategic. But what I've also learned, if your aim is transformation, you also need spiritual covering. It's not just the strategic, but it's also the spiritual.
Yep.
Like, when you have people around you, and you experienced this at dinner, we had 15 leaders in a backyard. We're all having dinner together, and the conversation starts going around the room of like, hey, what's hard in your life or in your work or in the efforts? And thankfully, everybody said, oh, nothing's hard. We're good. Just kidding. That is not what happened. Yeah. Everybody was real. And they all said, they named something. Some of it was stuff in their family. Some of it was stuff for them personally. Some of it was like, man, we're having a challenge communicating with our board of directors. For some people, it's we're not meeting the goals that we thought we were going to hit. And you start hearing people share, and you quickly realize, oh, this is hard. When you have
and you're not
other
alone.
people,
you feel
exactly.
Those things, yeah.
When you see you're not alone because somebody says like, hey, can we just stop? And can I leverage my faith for you? And can I pray for that? Like, that means the world. Now, you don't just have collaborators who are off doing their own thing and we're all kind of excited, rah, rah, okay, great dinner, go home. It's like, let me lean in with you into the hard things that you're facing right now. Like, that's coming to life. When you talk about discipleship, it's we share one another's burdens, right? It says that in Scripture. Like, we should share one another's burdens and do that in a way that it encourages each other so that they don't have to walk alone. That's a powerful thing. And when we talk about our leadership training, when we're building plans and getting strategic and all that kind of stuff, it's never it's never completely detached from our identity. Like, and so when we talk about discipleship, we're not just talking about developing your competencies. We're also talking about developing our character too, right? Yeah, it's so true. People get hired for competencies and fired for character, right? We see it everywhere. Like, I mean, you go to a Coldplay concert and see that. Like, no joke. And I mean, my heart breaks for that. Like, at some point, we believe the lie that if I'm just competent enough, then I'll be able to do what I'm supposed to do. And that will get me where I want to go. I just don't think that's human. Like I think you were meant to feel stuff. I think you were meant to get angry about things. I think you were created to like care deeply about things, which shapes who you are, and not just what you do or how good you are at doing those things. And so we don't just want to have competency questions and conversations with people about, so how do you start building capital for this venture you want to build? We do talk about that, but it's not limited to that. Like, who do you have around you? How do you invest in yourself in this journey? How are you staying connected spiritually, like with your Creator? All those things are very much a part of that process, and makes it way more than just, let's get your idea off the ground.
Yeah. Like sometimes when you're just worried about getting your idea off the ground and not doing the inner work that comes along with it, that road is going to be harder. And for many of them, they'll stop because the road becomes hard, and because you're trying to go to the midway point when you should have started at the beginning. To me, I think that spiritual practice, whether it's Christianity is something that we share and principles of Jesus, but if it's something else for somebody else, if it helps them be a good human, if it helps them love their neighbor, if it helps them get to their heart so that they could build what they're created for, then I root for them. I think that's so important for us as a society, and I think what you're doing at Link with in the name of Jesus, I think is beautiful, because I think the principles of Jesus change lives, especially when you're helping people get to inside their heart and to build what's in it. You're changing the world one person at a time, one connection at a time, one city at a time, 10 cities. That's pretty awesome of where you guys are at. And how long is it? How long have you been in business as a whole?
Link's been going for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
For the first 10 years was only in one city. And then
what city was that?
It was in Houston.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, maybe there's more cities that need this.
Yeah.
And really started because it started out of this denominational problem to say, like, hey, all the churches that are doing good in the city are starting to like move out to the suburbs. And how are we going to continue to invest in the city itself? And so it started getting really creative with all kinds of different expressions of ministries and nonprofits and businesses, and saying, like, we can collaborate in powerful ways. And now is really being honed into this collaborative network across 10 cities, which we're praying that it'll become 30 cities by the end of 2030. So there's a lot more that's going to happen in the next 5 or 6 years. But all of that, we want to see those cities transformed. I mean, we're in a lot of the cities where the most prominent thing you see coming out of those cities are bad headlines. Like, you don't have to live in those cities to hear the bad headlines, and then you're like, well, but our city is known for so much more than that. Mm-hmm. And there's so much more beauty in our city than that. It's
such a small piece of what it is.
But it's the loudest voice. Mm-hmm. And we want to help make something positive the loudest voice.
Yeah.
And that can happen through leaders who start small, build deep roots, and stay a long time.
Especially if they create content on this thing, at least right now, because their reach in how they could connect with people that are like-minded or that need their resources, it becomes limitless. I go back to like the ground and the air could be really powerful together because we could get to our people and we could build community and grow together, which I think is so important. So next question, how do you see, you've talked through this a little bit, I guess, throughout the stories, but how do you see Jesus' example lived out through the leaders you work with?
Yeah. I think we could dive deep on this one if we wanted to, but I think there's just too much that's kept within the walls of the church in our current American Christianity. And I would just love to see, like, the love of Jesus and the ways of Jesus lived out in our neighborhoods. I think that would be a powerful thing. I think there's too many things that Christianity is known for just what comes from a platform. Like I want to see what's happening from your front porch. And I think people respond to that, and it becomes very tangible.
Church isn't the building; it's the people.
For sure,
right?
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, so it's like if the church is the people, and if throughout our community, what principles do us as the people need to be able to distribute to be able to live, not distribute, but to be able to portray, to be able to live out principles of Jesus?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that is very true about this podcast is, do you know your story and are you sharing it? Like, this podcast was created to help people share their story. I just really think everybody's got a story. They just may not think it's worth sharing. And I absolutely disagree with that.
Me too.
I have yet to meet a person whose story did not impact me in some way, shape, or form. And it doesn't have to be in the most grandiose way. But I would just ask leaders, do you know your story? Have you taken time to sit down with it and see, like, along the way, where were there parts of your story where you believed a lie about yourself? Like, and you look back and you're like, how could I believe that? And yet at that time, it was the loudest thing you were listening to about yourself. And when you see that along the ways, there have been things that you've believed about yourself that are just not true, and you see the hand of God and the grace of God speaking the exact opposite, speaking value into your life, speaking truth into your life, covering you in grace, and making all of that fresh and new. Like, this is the new life that God is giving you. That's a powerful thing. And here the whole time we were just kind of chalking up like, I don't really have a story worth sharing. I really disagree. Yeah. And we'd love to help you just understand your story a little more, help you learn how to tell your story. And certainly if you're starting a business or a nonprofit, the best reason why you are starting your business or nonprofit is because you have a story worth sharing. Something happened in your life that is driving you to do this very thing. Let's get really clear about that and learn how to share it with people.
Yeah, it's so important. If we all did that from a community level, it's abundance, man, and tons of joy, you know. And you said a lot of principles that I think are important, and a lot of things are important to be able to make a strong community. I think, you know, that inner work and forgiveness for ourselves, for maybe something we've carried too, and working through that with grace is so important. And then you could go out and give it to others, because you realize we're kind of all a part of this human experience. And part of being a human is there's dark times, there's light times, and there's a lot of waves of life. The goal is, can you go through them in peace at the end of the day, and by following your heart. So I appreciate you sharing that. I think Link is doing that. You know, I can't help but to think like 20 years out, because that's just where my brain thinks. Yeah. But I just think about, like, well, you're in the cities, but it's like, that's where you're starting. It's like, it could be everywhere. This could be a trickle effect that could shape how we do life in our world.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, that's probably why we're starting in the cities that Link has started in, is because the hope is that if we see the transformation in those spaces and those cities, and the headlines start to change towards positive headlines, and headlines of life and not death, and hope and not despair.
We all experience the same
community
stuff.
And not isolation, yes. Like collaboration instead of competition. I mean, dude, these are things that
keep preaching.
I know your heart beats for that, but the world's not giving it to you. Because it does speak like you are isolated. You should be in competition with other people. Make sure you build your platform. Like, let's build a platform that's about city transformation. And if you're willing to go hard after that, and it doesn't have to be all about you getting the credit for doing that, because let's be honest, it's not you that should be getting the credit in the first place. We just love to believe that lie.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
that's the problem that got us in the trouble in the first place.
Yeah. And that's why collaboration doesn't happen. It's because egos and logos get in the way.
It's collaboration has changed my life. And I go back to, I always tell a story. I was a part of this association. I never put in the work. It started in 2017, and then 2020, June of 2020, I rejoined and I got involved in community, and some of the people that I met there have helped change my life. Yeah. But it's because when you could come at it from like your authentic self and look to be able to collectively work with people to collaborate. Yeah. Like, game on, because none of us could do it all, and we're stronger together. And when we could find our people that we could collaborate with, that we could work with, that we could support with, that we're going after similar missions but different niches, like, game on. Like, it goes back to, like, we could shape our world, but it's going to have to be everything that you just said. Like, it's collaboration is key. We can't, to be able to get there, we need to understand each other's stories and where each other's been, because when we could do that, usually for most of us humans, empathy comes into play, compassion comes into place. We understand one another, and that is important, because when you could do that and you could collaborate, the joy.
Oh, and can I just, like, can I say something to the person who's listening to this?
Please.
That is like, yeah, collaboration, that's nice. I mean, when we say that, we are considering collaboration completely optional. Like, it'd be the cherry on top. Don't have to have it. It's just kind of like, it'd be a nicety, right? If you think collaboration is not necessary, I think there might be two things that are true. One is your vision is not big enough. Like, if you think you can actually do this alone, like, your vision's not big enough. And number two, if you don't think collaboration is necessary, then your individual practice of what you want to see happen is not tractionable enough. What I mean by that is, like, you haven't yet experienced just how hard it is to see the thing you want actually come to fruition in your own sphere of influence. Like, when you want to see transformation in a city, like, it really matters that you also care about the transformation of people in community directly around you, and in your sphere of influence. Like, are you creating space for people to interrupt your life and care for them when they need it most? Like, can their hardest time be, do you have time to care for them in that space? I love, at our church, we have like 4 key markers of what it means to be a follower of Jesus. And one of those is an unhurried friend. I think about the pace of life. I've lived in places where the pace of life is slow, and I've lived in Chicago. And the pace is not slow.
No.
Everything's busy. Everything's full. We have 2 kids, and they're not yet into, like, the travel ball, but I hear horror stories, right? Yeah. Like, I just hear how busy it is.
As you look on the horizon.
Exactly.
Like,
I know stuff is coming, right? Life is going to get busier. Just imagine how good news it is, like tangible good news, how refreshing it is that when life is hard for you, somebody can slow down enough in their busy schedule to just be your friend, a listener, and an encourager to you. That's good news. So, like, for us and our family, we want to...
It's life-changing news.
Right. We just want to continue to grow as a family. Me, my wife, Mia, our 2 boys. How can we create a little more margin this week to be an unhurried friend towards somebody as we hear their story, or we see what's happening in their life, or as they're expressing a need for something, or they need help with something? Do we have margin for them? We can, and we want to.
It's so important. The world's going to continue to go faster and faster because of this thing. It's important to be human. Things you're talking about is human. Us being in community, us supporting each other, us rooting each other on, us knowing our neighbors' names.
Yeah.
We're never going to be as fast as these computers.
No way.
So maybe we should slow down and do the opposite. Utilize the computers and whatever else we want to be able to create what we want this world to be.
Time really is a currency. When you think about what you can
100%.
invest in people, give them time.
It's been the unhurried friend. I never heard it quite that way, but I sit here and I'm like grateful for unhurried friends.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Micah and Sarah, our friends at St. Peter.
Yeah.
It's a place of peace for us.
Yeah, for sure. For us, it's Carl Fay and Matt.
Yep.
And obviously Kendra is Carl's wife. My wife works there at Prince of Peace in Palatine. It's a great community of people too. That I think we probably can both agree that those communities are stronger together type vibe for sure.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of impact positively for us, right?
Huge.
What do you want people to know about Link? Is any last words before we wrap up?
Yeah, man. I think about for every person that's out there who either sees themselves as a leader or doesn't believe that they are a leader. I'm talking directly to you, like. I really believe that the inside of you want to see something change for the better. And that begins to stir in you an idea or a dream. I think God created you to have that idea, that dream. I think God gave you what you need in order to bring life into that space, to help see change for the better happen. And it doesn't all rest on your shoulders. Like, let's take the pressure off for a moment. It's not all on you. Let a community remind you of that. As you do a lot of hard work in starting something and leading something and investing in something and persisting and showing up week after week, like that is on you. Be in those spaces, but it doesn't have to all be on you. Like you can find encouragement and hope and inspiration and the kind of accountability that doesn't put guilt on you, but actually accelerates your impact. Like be a part of that. And Link is here to make sure you never walk alone in that. You have questions or you're in a season of life where you're asking like, what do I want to do the rest of my life? We'll help you with that. Like we'll wrestle with that. Not because we have the answer, but because we love to ask those questions with you and make sure you don't have to answer them by yourself. If you have an idea that you want to see come to life, or you have an idea and you doubt that it ever could come to life, like we'd love to spend time with you. We'd love to wrestle through that with you and make sure you don't have to do that by yourself.
Amen, man. There's an African, as you talk, there's an African proverb that's coming to my head. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And I think that's exactly what you're building at Link. And overall, but grateful to have you here as a neighbor. But obviously serving the city of Chicago as you do your thing. Where can people connect with you at, and where can they find Link? Yeah,
you can. You can text me. 615-601-9078. Text me, like, call me. I would love to connect with you. If this is resonating with you, like, let's dream together. Let's lean into this together. I'd love to be an encourager to you. You can go to link.org. That's LINC, which stands for Leaders in Every Community. LINC.org to see more of what's happening a little bit in Chicagoland, but across the country too, in all of our cities, and see how we're part of a network that's seen this kind of impact happen now in 10 different cities across the country, and God willing, more in the next 5 years. And you can go on Facebook, Link Chicago. We would love to connect with you. We have an event coming up on November 7th, where if you're looking for a space to find fellow collaborators, inspiration. You want to hear stories of where people are making an impact all over Chicagoland. We're having an event November 7th. We'd love for you to be there. Reach out to us. Let us know you're interested, and we'll make sure there's a spot for you there that night.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Well, I appreciate this conversation today, and my guess is this is probably first of what will be other ones as we continue to dream and build and to connect and to collaborate as we evolve. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for the invitation, and you're an encourager to people. You're helping make sure people never walk alone, and keep going.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think it takes all of us. Like we used to say when we first started this, it takes a village.
Yeah.
And that we're stronger together, and we believe that. So do you. So
Yeah.
keep going too, man. I appreciate you again.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. But my friends, we said a lot here. I promise you, it came from our heart and what we believe to be real. You think when we dream big and when we work with people that allow us to dream big and don't stifle us, but yet help us implement frameworks, implement beliefs, and be able to help work on really the body, mind, and spirit, and you follow your heart, game on. I've done that. I'm like 8 years into following my heart, and it's been scary as you know what. Man, I really enjoy waking up each day, and I don't miss corporate America. I don't miss any of that. But a lot of it is because I've been able to understand that if we worked in a way that we understand each other's stories, that we come from a place of wanting to be able to connect with each other, whether we agree or disagree. And if we could collaborate, the game that we call life could be so much different for all of us. The joy that could come from this is truly remarkable. And a lot of my personal stories coming out in this because I think it's real. Like, we all go through our shit. Like, let's just be good to each other and let's help uplift each other. So if Dave is doing that with Link, go check them out. But I appreciate you being a part of our community here at Love Local Chicagoland too. So support local, love local. We're stronger together. Peace.